healthcare as the Obamacare open enrollment deadline looms. Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey explaining why he thinks Congress should pass a continuing resolution to buy time to fix healthcare.
Democrats are doing this. Even the union knows it. It is a clean CR so we can negotiate the other stuff out. It's not complicated. It's been done many times before, and the Democrats are trying to make it like it has something to do with health care. It does not. The CR needs to be passed so then we can deal with health care.
The Texas Agriculture Commissioner proposes a solution for the cattle industry. Robert Thornton explains.
Houston Public Media and other outlets say Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller is pushing back against President Donald Trump's call to import beef from Argentina, saying it would hurt Texas ranchers already facing historically low cattle numbers. Miller agrees with Trump that beef prices are too high for consumers. He made these comments on Fox's Will Cain program.
The Argentine beef, there's two problems with it. Number one, it's very low quality, so we have to use it for hamburger meat only. So it will bring down the price of hamburger meat, but it's not going to bring down the price of those ribeyes or sirloins or other high-quality cuts. Number two, under the Biden administration, for the first time in my lifetime, we have an agriculture trade deficit. We are buying $48 billion more food than we export. We've always been a breadbasket of the world. We fed ourselves and everybody else, but that reversed under Biden. So continuing to buy food from outsourcing our beef from another country makes that problem worse.
He said he sent a plan to the White House last week which proposes ways to strengthen domestic beef production without relying on imported meat.
We could do a tax incentive. These cow-calf producers are making pretty decent money right now. They could use a tax break. So we could use a tax credit much like the child tax credit. You get $1,000 off if you have a child 17 or under, right off your income tax. So we could give them a heifer retention tax credit. That would be great. They would jump on that like a duck on a June bug.
I'm Robert Thornton.
Many Americans will be voting on something this November 4th, but sadly, many of those Americans are not Christians. Some believers choose not to vote. Talking about this on Washington Watch, Debbie Wuthnow of iVoterGuide said that is a mistake.
If you're not planning to vote, you need to vote. We need Christians to let their light shine in the public square, and that includes voting and voting wisely. So go to iVoterGuide.com and then get yourself to the polls. Either vote early if you can, which you have until the 1st or 2nd, or vote on Election Day on November 4th by using the information at iVoterGuide.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
If we lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildmon and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney empire. The movement Don started paved the way for Christians to boldly stand for truth and righteousness in a hostile culture. Watch Culture Warrior today for free. Visit culturewarrior.movie.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues. That's the name of this program here on the American Family Radio Network for this Tuesday, October the 28th, 2025. In studio with me is Fred Jackson. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning, Tim.
And good morning, Chris Woodward.
Good morning.
And in Kansas City, KS, is our good friend Ray Pritchard. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, Tim. How are you today?
Doing well. It's kind of a dreary day here in Tupelo. I don't know.
Listen, I got a question for you now. I want to know, how late did you stay up last night?
Well, funny you should ask.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to put a disclaimer on the show for all our listeners today. Me personally, I'm not responsible for what I say or if I fall asleep during the show, because I did stay up till 1:15, I think it was, something like that, watching the World Series Game 3 because it was a classic game. I love the World Series. I don't care who's playing. The drama is just almost unmatched in sports because everything hinges on one pitch and this pitch and that pitch. Anyway, so just to set the scene, because we have the sound, right? Thanks for asking. I'll set this up. Am I the only one that who did anybody? What time did you go to? Were you watching? So Brent Creeley, our producer, Chris, were you watching?
No, I stopped watching MLB after it was apparent in May the Braves weren't going.
Okay, so you have a little bit of an attitude.
A little bit. A little bitter.
A little bitter. So you're not going to watch any teams. If
I
your
know,
team
I just
can't
didn't watch
make
last
it.
night.
No, I'm just kidding. Fred, I know you're a hockey guy. Did you watch any of the World Series last night?
Well, even though the Blue Jays, Canadian team.
Yeah, there's Canada's team.
I cannot get beyond 8:30 or 9.
Okay.
So I did not.
Before you have to go to bed.
That's right.
So you didn't watch any of it?
No, sir.
Okay. Ray, did you watch any of it?
I was watching Patrick Mahomes last night.
Oh, that Monday Night Football.
I've heard of him. That guy's going places.
Okay. He's got a future.
Stick with him.
Yeah.
He's got a future. All right, then. I guess I'm the only one here on this panel that watched the game. Okay, so it's Game 3 of the World Series. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays. And they're playing in Los Angeles. And the game is 5-5 after 9 innings. For those who don't know about baseball, you have 9 innings. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what inning is, I'm not going to waste our time here.
Too difficult.
Not going to waste our time, and you don't want me to. So they go to what's called extra innings in baseball. And in the World Series, the drama is, everything's just like, okay, this pitch, that ball, this hit, well, who's coming to the plate, all this stuff. So they go 5-5 to the 10th. Now, by this time, it's 10 o'clock, Central Time, my time. Okay. They go to the 11th. They go to the 12th. They go to the 13th. Allison, she's a trooper. We're on the patio watching the game on our big screen TV. And we go to the 15th. I'm fading. Okay. Go to the 16th. 16th inning, 5-5. 17th inning, I said, I got to go to bed. I hate to, but I got to leave you, honey. So I left her on the patio. 18th inning. I'm like, I get up for just a minute. And I say, who are you? Hey, who won? She goes, Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 18th inning. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about they played a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess it got through somewhere around 1:30, Ray, Central Time.
Yeah.
All right, so we have here, Brent Creeley, our producer, has the call. I don't know. What do you have?
It's his interview after the game is over. He's talking.
Freddie Freeman?
Yes, sir. I thought that was
what
we needed.
Play it later.
Okay.
I didn't even heard it. I was talking about the call for the home run. If you have that. If you don't, okay. Well, that's anticlimactic right there. So you'll just have to take my word for it, people. Well, you have to take my word for it. You take Allison's word for it.
Yeah.
Because she's the one that saw it live.
I watched the highlight.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, he's a Christian, right?
Freddie Freeman is a well-known professional baseball player. Played for the Braves for many years as a first baseman.
Hit many walk-off home runs.
Right, and then like any good American athlete, he took the money and ran to Los Angeles and plays for the Dodgers. And this was he tied a record, or either maybe set a record for walk-off home runs in the World Series. Okay, because he hit one against the Yankees last year in New York, and he hit one last night. He is a devout Christian, Freddie Freeman, and so we have the audio call from the game. Because Brent Creeley, our crack producer over here, he's not on crack. He just is able to. No, I saw. All right. I'll tell you what.
This is the ultimate setup.
Well, all right, people. We can't start over on this show, so
it's too late.
We're just gonna have to go with it. Brent is feverishly working on finding that audio from the home run last night. I'm going to wait. I don't want to bring Frank on right now. I want to wait 1 or 2 minutes to see if we can find that. But this Otani, you heard of him, Ray?
Oh yeah,
baseball player.
Don't some people think he's the greatest, greatest of all the current hitters?
Shohei Ohtani, yeah.
Oh, hitters, but he's also a major league pitcher.
Yes.
Okay.
He pitches tonight for the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. This guy's from Japan, and he's one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know how baseball rankings are very subjective.
But there's no question. He's one of the greatest ever.
One of the greatest ever. Yeah, he's 31 years old. Doesn't speak English very well. He has to have a translator. Okay, Brent says he's got it. And so we're going to hear the call at 1:30 Central Time, 2:30 Eastern or something like that last night from Los Angeles. Go ahead.
Los Angeles. Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the catch strikes midnight. Freddie Freeman has ended it. It's a repeat hero with the last word on a Game 3 classic.
You could hear the crack. I love that crack of the bat. Listen to the crack of the bat right there. That's beautiful sound right there. It is.
Los Angeles. Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the catch strikes midnight.
So that was Freddie Freeman hitting that home run, and he had almost hit another one earlier in the game. But that Otani, he hit 2 home runs last night. The Japanese fella. Yeah. Did I pronounce his name right? Okay,
you did.
Otani, and then he also got on base. After he hit his second home run, the manager for the Toronto Blue Jays said, "I'm not doing this again," and he walked him 4 times in a row. Yeah. No, I'm serious. He walked him 4 times in a row instead of letting him hit again.
Yeah.
So he got on in one game. This player Otani got on 9 consecutive times. Mm-hmm. Wow. Which is a World Series record, obviously. 9 consecutive plate appearances. He gets on base 9 times.
Yeah.
It was remarkable. Anyway, if you didn't see it, hope you got a little flavor of that. But that was a remarkable game. I hung in there till 1:30 in the morning.
I saw the Braves and Cubs in '98 in Turner Field. They went 15 innings. And then a few years ago, Mississippi State and Missouri went 17 innings in the SEC tournament. Those are 2 of the longest games I've seen.
You've ever seen. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening. Tim, Fred, Chris, and Ray. And we now have our good friend, Dr. Frank Turek, on from, I guess Frank's at home in North Carolina. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning. Baseball's too long already. 18 innings?
Yeah, 18 innings, one game.
Forget about it.
Right. One game. And they have to play tonight, game 4, and the pitcher will be the guy I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm. That's Otani, he's not too tired. No. He'd probably rather, don't walk me. I'm going to automatically strike out so I can rest on the bench.
He's taking, cat naps.
Well, we'll see how he does tonight. I don't know if he'll be too tired, but everybody, all those guys will be tired. Of course, when you make millions of dollars, it helps your feelings. And
I'm happy to test that out.
Even if you get tired, yeah, that's right. So, by the way, Frank, I wanted to mention one other story here before we move on. The situation with Jamaica. Mm-hmm. They are undergoing. Do you know anybody in Jamaica?
I do not.
Okay, Ray, do you?
I don't have been to Jamaica.
You have?
Beautiful island.
Yeah,
have
you been?
Wonderful people.
Frank, have you been to Jamaica?
I have not been to. The one place I have not been to the Caribbean.
Okay.
Just haven't gone.
Well,
it's close.
As we speak, they are experiencing a Category 5 hurricane.
Oh.
5. Mm-hmm. And it's just I saw some live camera video footage, and Fred, it's going to be. It's going to change Jamaica for 10 years.
You're talking close to 3 million people who live on that island.
Right.
Winds are topping out around 180 miles per hour. Rain, 20, 30 inches. The governor of the island, I'm not sure if that's the right title, he says there's not a single structure on this island that can take that sustain that kind of damage.
That's what when you use the word catastrophic, this is with a capital C, and you already have a country that's poor, and you know the infrastructure, the buildings are not the best, not up to these U.S. standards.
Yeah.
And so I just ask people to pray for the poor folks there in Jamaica. I don't know what else to do. I know there'll be relief and aid forthcoming in the coming days and weeks, but an island like that, they'll to recover from something like that will be years and years.
I'm sure Samaritan's Purse will be there.
Yes.
Right away.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
always are.
absolutely. Those bad Christians, you know.
Yeah.
Those mean old Christians who hate everybody, just go around the world helping everybody they don't even know.
And their main industry is tourism.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the island is wiped out,
right,
Sam is predicting,
right,
it's going to be years before that industry
comes back.
Can even come back.
I'm looking at Samaritan's Purse website right now, and they already have a post up saying, "Pray for Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa roars across the island." I'll post that on our Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, that sounds a lot like, you remember when Andrew hit Florida in like 1992? It was 200-mile-an-hour winds.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's, that's just, you can't imagine the devastation. I remember seeing the picture and talking to people who lived in Homestead, Florida, which was took a direct hit from that Hurricane Andrew, as you're talking about there. Well, what do you want to talk about, Brother Frank?
Well, we could talk a little bit about Egypt. There's a story in the news about a fortress being discovered in Sinai. We were just in Egypt a little over a week ago. And people always tell you, there's no Exodus or there's no evidence the Exodus ever occurred. Yeah, except all the evidence that says it did occur.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about this new one. It just came out, but.
Yeah. Well, I just saw it last night. I thought, we'd pitch it over to you, see if you'd heard anything about it. The story was, what was the story, Chris?
Yeah, it's from the Daily Mail, and I just posted it on our Facebook. Mysterious ruins found in Egypt offer new proof for the Bible story of Moses. Archaeologists in Egypt have uncovered the remains of a massive 3,000-year-old fortress along an ancient route many believe was traveled during the biblical Exodus.
I like the way you're doing your voice there.
Thank you very much, sir. I practiced on this in the car.
Yeah,
The stronghold, recently unearthed in North Sinai, lies directly on the fabled Horus Military Road, the same route the book of Exodus describes as the shorter path the Israelites avoided when Moses led them out of Egypt.
Okay, I didn't want you to talk necessarily about this specific thing because it's a brand new discovery, but I wanted you to talk, Frank, about your travels to Egypt. I know you've been to Israel and some other places in the Middle East, and, having to do with evidence that supports, historical and archaeological evidence that supports the Scriptures.
Sure. Let's point out that the oldest inscription ever discovered of Yahweh has been found in Egypt. It's actually now modern Sudan, but at the time it was Egypt. The grandson of the Exodus Pharaoh, his name was Amenhotep III, put up a monument among other monuments that talked about the nomads of Yahweh. This is from 1400 BC. There are two of these inscriptions. Why is an Egyptian pharaoh talking about the nomads of Yahweh in 1400 BC? I remind you, the biblical date of the Exodus is 1446 BC. Why is he talking about a group of nomads worshiping Yahweh in Egypt? Because there must have been nomads worshiping Yahweh in Egypt.
Yeah.
That's why. Also, a lot of people don't know about this, but there's been a papyrus discovered called the Ipuwer Papyrus, Ipuwer. There's only one copy of this. It comes from Egypt. It comes from about the time of the Exodus. I'm just going to read a few excerpts from the Ipuwer Papyrus and see if this rings any bells. The river is blood, yet men drink of it. One thirsts for water. Pestilence is throughout the land. Blood is everywhere. Death is not lacking. Indeed, all animals, their hearts weep. Cattle moan because of the state of the land. Lo, trees are felled, branches stripped. Birds find neither fruits nor herbs. It also says that certain gold and other stones are fastened on the neck of female slaves. Poor men have become owners of wealth, and he who could not make sandals for himself is now a possessor of riches. The land is without light. All is ruin. Indeed, that has perished which yesterday was seen. Groaning is throughout the land, mingled with laments. Lo, many dead are buried in the river. The stream is the grave. The tomb has become a stream, and he who puts his brother in the ground is everywhere. Indeed, every dead person is a well-born man. Those who were Egyptians have become foreigners and are thrust aside. The children of princes are dashed against walls. What does all this sound like?
Exodus.
Sounds like the plagues.
Yeah.
These are the plagues written about from Egypt. And yet there are some scholars who are trying to say this has nothing to do with the plagues.
Wow.
One archaeologist from the Armstrong Institute, his name is Christopher Imes, wrote this about this. He said, researchers simply don't know the original dating for this document, the Pure Papyrus. It varies across a span of 6 centuries, and the latter end of the date spectrum may indeed align with the events of the Exodus. And as shown above, this is from an article where he goes through some of this stuff. Both documents, meaning the Exodus and the Pure Papyrus, complement each other so well. A river that became blood, pestilence, crops, livestock, buildings devastated, fire and darkness, well-born offspring dying, lame duck magicians, slaves pillaging the riches of masters, and a shepherding people whose initial presence in the land culminated in cataclysm. How could this not refer to the same event?
Yeah. That's amazing.
And
right,
people
go ahead.
say there's no evidence for the Exodus. This is from Egypt, ladies and gentlemen. Egypt. This is not from the Bible. This is from Egypt. And so
Hey Frank, let me ask you a follow-up question right at this point. There are some on the, quote, left side of the evangelical spectrum moving into liberalism, I suppose you'd say, who listen to what you're talking about and go, and they say, it doesn't really matter whether there was a literal Moses. It doesn't matter whether there were literal plagues, and it doesn't really matter if there was a literal miracle in the crossing of the Red Sea. What matters is that we know God delivered his people. And sometimes this is put in rather seductive language. What's at stake in whether or not we accept what the Bible says in the book of Exodus?
I would ask him, are you calling Jesus a liar? Because Jesus talked about Moses. He said, Moses wrote of me. What do you mean? Jesus is a liar now? Now, does every event of the Exodus have to be true in order for Christianity to be true? No, but it is. Right? I mean, why would you deny it? Look, the reason I believe that the Old Testament is the Word of God is not just because we can find corroboration in archaeology and other papyri and all that. It's because Jesus predicted and accomplished his own resurrection from the dead, and there's very good historical evidence for that. And if Jesus predicted and accomplished his own resurrection from the dead, then he's God, and whatever God teaches is true. Jesus taught the entire Old Testament as the Word of God, and he promised the New Testament. So who am I gonna believe? Some liberal today who says, well, the Exodus may not have occurred, or am I going to believe the God of the universe who referred to Moses and said, Moses wrote of me?
Amen.
I'm gonna go with the God of the universe.
Right. Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
Well, and it's corroborated. I mean, I could go through many more lines of evidence from Egypt that the Exodus really took place, but this is a short show.
And you've been over there, what, 2 or 3 times or more?
Yeah, we've been to Egypt a couple times in the past 10 months, actually. And by the way, if you want a cure for any leftist in America, I submit to you, you go to Egypt for a week. Or why don't you just go there for a year and see how well you live? You know what the average salary for an Egyptian worker is?
What?
$303 per month.
Wow.
Per month.
And
people are complaining about America
when
they have no idea how most of the rest of the world lives.
That's true. And Egypt would be considered probably, middle of the road as far as a country in the world in terms of their economic situation.
It might be. Yeah, certainly in the Middle East.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
And
Israel
yet-
has the top standard of living. Jordan's probably after that, and then those are 3 countries we went to: Israel, Jordan, and Egypt.
Yeah, there's a reason why the world wants to come to, to the U.S. and to the West.
Yeah. There are no caravans going to Venezuela. Have you noticed that? Why does everybody want to get in here?
That would be a great country song right there.
Mm-hmm.
There are no caravans going to Venezuela. All right.
Also, some of the great country songs of all time.
Yeah.
How Can I Miss You If You Won't Go Away? And I keep missing you, baby, but my aim's getting better.
That's even worse.
That's
we probably need to let Frank go.
These are country songs, classical country songs.
Classical country songs. All right, Frank, how can people keep up with your ministry? I know you. Let me tell folks, Frank's show airs Saturdays at 9 o'clock Central Time right here on American Family Radio. I don't have enough faith to be an atheist, so Frank will be talking about this and other topics probably on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday we're going to be talking about both Moses and Joshua, and also Joseph. Evidence about how they all prefigured Jesus
On Saturday.
This Saturday,
9 o'clock, right here on this station.
Well, actually, let me back that up. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about that, not on this station. On Saturday, we're going to be talking with the great Lucas Miles. He's got a great new book on the pagan influence into Christianity. So,
wow.
All right. Well, we look forward to that. And then Sunday, we will re-air. Sunday afternoon. What time's that? 4 Central?
4 o'clock Central.
All right. So I was going to read you this joke. Okay. So you got it. We got time for this one joke. So Frank's got a joke, and I got a joke. Friend of mine. This guy sent me this joke. Friend of mine came to me and said his wife was losing it. She left a note on the fridge door that said, "It's not working anymore. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to my mother's." He said he opened the door. Milk was cold. Butter was cold. It was working just fine. Does anybody not get that?
We get it.
You got it? Because I have to. If you got to explain the joke,
That's right. It's not really a joke.
It kind of loses its power.
Did you hear about the father who was injured in a horrific
No, we didn't.
peekaboo accident? Yeah, he's been in ICU for a week.
Ba-da-boom. All right, it's probably time to end this interview. Thank you, Frank.
Hey, Ohio State Monday night.
Okay, tell us, and tomorrow we'll mention it again. Ohio State in Columbus. Okay.
In Columbus.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Once upon a time in the long, long ago, the eagle and the chicken were very good friends. Everywhere they went, these friends went together. It was not uncommon for people to look up and see the eagle and the chicken flying side by side through the air. One day, while flying, the chicken said to the eagle, "Let's drop down and get a bite to eat. My stomach is growling." "Sounds like a good idea to me," replied the eagle. So the two birds glided down to earth, saw several animals eating, and decided to join them. They landed next to the cow. The cow was busy eating corn, but noticed that the eagle and the chicken were soon sitting on the ground next to her. "Welcome," said the cow. "Help yourself to this corn." Now this took the two birds by surprise. They were not accustomed to having other animals share their food quite so readily. "Why are you willing to share your corn with us?" asked the eagle. "Oh, we have plenty to eat here. Mr. Farmer gives us all we want," replied the cow. Well, the eagle and the chicken jumped right in and ate their fill. When they finished, the chicken asked more about the farmer. "Well," said the cow, "he grows all our food. We don't have to work for the food at all." "You mean," said the chicken, "that the farmer simply gives you all you want to eat and you don't have to work for it?" "That's right," said the cow. "Not only that, but he gives us shelter over our heads." Now the chicken and the eagle were shocked. They'd never heard such a thing. They had always had to search for food and work for shelter. When it came time to leave, the chicken and the eagle began to discuss the situation. "Maybe we should just stay here," said the chicken. "We can have all the food we want without working for it. And that barn over there sure beats those nests we have to continually be building. Besides," he said, "I'm getting tired of always having to work for a living." Now the eagle replied, "I don't know about all of this. It sounds too good to be true. I find it hard to believe that one can get something for nothing. Besides, I kind of like flying high and free through the air. And providing for food and shelter isn't so bad. In fact, I find it quite challenging." Well, the chicken thought it over and decided to stay where there was free food and shelter. But the eagle decided that he loved his freedom too much to give it up, and enjoyed the consistent challenge of making his own living. So, after saying goodbye to his friend the chicken, the eagle set sail for the wild blue yonder. Now, everything went fine for the chicken. He ate all he wanted. He never worked. He grew fat and lazy. But then one day he heard the farmer say to his wife that the preacher was coming to visit the next day and they should have fried chicken for dinner. Hearing that, the chicken decided it was time to leave. But when he began to fly, he found that he had grown too fat and too lazy. Instead of being able to fly, he could only flutter. So the next day the farmer's family and the preacher sat down to a meal of fried chicken. When you give up the challenges life has in pursuit of security, your ability to fly turns into a flutter. And that's the reason eagles fly and chickens flutter.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Jeremiah 29:13.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Hey, I just met some fine listeners from Rockwall, Texas, who are passing through. Jerry and Kim Hunter. They stopped by to see us. They're on their way to Huntsville, Alabama. And but they said they made it a point to come by and see us. They support us and pray for us, and we appreciate it. And if you want to visit our offices and studios here in Tupelo, Mississippi, we welcome you. You just got to let us know you're coming, because we like to know, who's going to come to the building, want to get in the doors and look around. So what do they need to do? They need to go to Brent. What do they need to do if folks want to sign up to visit us sometime?
Go to afa.net/tours. Fill out a form, and that goes to our front desk, and they'll get back with you.
Right. And if you give a $50 tip to Tim,
in the door.
That gets you first place right there in the door. No, I'm just kidding. No tip. No tip goes to me. I just enjoy. We just enjoy. All of us do, meeting folks who listen to our radio network and who pray for us and support what we do. So that's what Jerry and Kim did. They stopped by to say hello from Rockwall. All right, so before Frank went on his merry way, I thought we was going to let Frank go, but he said Columbus. He said Ohio State, and I wanted him to tell folks where he's going to be, because we have a lot of listeners in Ohio, and we have two stations in the Columbus area. So, Frank, tell our folks where you're going to be and how they can sign up, or what do they need to do?
Yeah, this is going to be this coming Monday night, November 3rd. We're going to be in Columbus at Ohio State. Let me get the exact room number and all that. I think they just need to get there early if they want to make sure they get in.
The seating's limited? Is that what you're saying?
Well, there's 1,000 seats, but we don't know what kind of turnout we're going to get. The title of what we're talking about is "If God, Why Evil?" Q&A in honor of my friend Charlie Kirk. So I'm going to be talking about why would God allow such evil to occur, and then we're going to take a lot of questions related to that and other issues as well. People can ask any question they want.
So what do people need? Can they go to your website?
They can. They can go to crossexamined.org and click on events. They'll see it there. We are going to, let's see, what was the room number he said? It's going to be on our...
well, you got to have a building. Well, room number doesn't help if you don't have a building.
I know that. Yeah, it's not...
It's in a building?
It's in a building. It's not an outdoor event.
Is it on the campus at Ohio State?
It is on the campus. It's going to be in the Archie M. Griffith Grand Ballroom, I believe.
You know who Archie M. Griffin is, don't you?
Archie Griffin. Yeah, he used to be running back.
Yeah. He two-time Heisman Trophy winner.
It's
back to back.
It's going to be 7 p.m., I believe.
Mm-hmm. When, tomorrow?
That's going to be Monday.
So Monday, Frank will be in, if you live in Columbus or near Ohio State University and you want to drive over and meet Frank, see him, and participate in this program that he's going to be hosting, then go to his website, crossexamined.org.
Mm-hmm.
And click on events, and it'll tell you where he's going to be on campus there. All right, Frank, take care, my friend. See ya.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you guys. And by the way, it'll also be live streamed, so if you can't make it there, it'll be on our YouTube channel at that time.
Okay, great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Right. That's Dr. Frank Turek, Turek. Frank's also going to be at Alabama, Tuscaloosa, University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa sometime soon. Mm-hmm. So I'll get him to tell us about that next week. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Tim, Fred, Chris, and Ray. And I asked Walker to come in the studio, Walker Wildmon, my youngest of three. And he is also vice president here at American Family Association. Don't know how he got that job. Exactly.
We'll have to ask around.
He kind of had an inside track on that position. But Walker, we had some great news that we're just releasing publicly. Tell folks about it.
Yeah, just yesterday morning, American Family News published an op-ed that I wrote on developments regarding Apple Corporation and an agreement basically we reached with Apple to better protect minors on the Apple devices. So AFA has been engaging in corporate shareholder engagement. And many folks have heard me talk with Jerry Boyer and Rob West on AFR over the last 2 years regarding this. But we've been showing up at corporate shareholder meetings, presenting proposals, pro-family, pro-child proposals with these various corporations, many of them tech companies. And so as part of our negotiations with the Apple Corporation, we noticed, as we began to do our due diligence, we noticed that there were some pretty serious vulnerabilities, if you will, for children on Apple devices. And one of them being when a teenager turns 14 and they're aged 14 to 17 using an Apple device, 13 and below, you cannot view pornographic images on an Apple device. It has a feature, a safety feature that blocks the image. You can't even override it. With a teenager aged 14 to 17, we noticed there was a different standard on Apple devices as we began to talk to Apple and look at their policies. And what we found is that they were treating 14 to 17-year-olds different than they were 13 and below. And so teenagers aged 14 to 17 could view pornographic text messages and videos on Apple devices without parental consent, without parental knowledge, which was a big, big red flag that we saw. So as part of our shareholder proposal process, we were looking at a lot of different issues. And so we basically told Apple, hey, if you guys are serious about protecting children and you want to show a good faith effort to do such, then you need to fix this loophole here and make it to where all children below 18, 17 and under are protected from pornographic and explicit images on their iPhone, on their Apple device. And so after about a year of negotiations and meetings with Apple, they actually came through and made the fix. And so we met with them last week and they announced these changes. And so all children under the age of 18, so all legal minors, will now be protected on Apple devices. One other change I'll mention, and then y'all can ask some questions or we can talk more about this. One other change is prior to our discussions with Apple, so in previous years, children could view adult-rated applications, mobile apps, in the App Store. They could view them. They couldn't download them because of the child safety features, but they could still view them, which didn't make any sense. So we brought up to Apple that loophole, that vulnerability, and said, hey, guys, if a child can't download the adult-rated app, they don't even need to be able to see it in the App Store. And so Apple made that change as well to where all children can't even see or have visibility into adult-rated mobile apps. And so those two victories are a really big deal, and millions of kids are going to be protected now on Apple devices.
Walker, my question would be, and I wondered in your early discussions with Apple, did they try to justify the 14 to 17, we think it's okay for them to view this, or was it just, did they say, it was an oversight?
Yeah, they were very tight-lipped in our meetings as far as getting into kind of their reasoning behind their policies. But I think what was abundantly clear is that they were trying to create kind of this secondary category of like half adult, right? Between once you get into your teenage years and before you become a legal adult, there's kind of this hybrid approach to teenagers, age 14 to 17, most of your high schoolers. And so it was clear that their policies were heavily tailored in that manner, as if there should be multiple standards for underage children. So we made the case that, hey, look, according to state law in all 50 states, you have to be 18 to be a legal adult. And so there's no reason that we should then break up children, whether they're teenagers or younger. We shouldn't break them up as to how we protect them on these devices. We should just treat all minors the same.
Okay.
All right. Well, this is big news. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely a big deal. And we congratulate the Apple company for doing the right thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, do you have any questions regarding this at all?
You know, Walker, let me just follow up on the other question. We all wonder, I mean, from a distance, I've never sat down with the executives of some big multinational corporation. I mean, Apple's one of the biggest companies in the world. What's it like on a personal basis when you're talking to these people from Apple? Are they polite? Are they distant? Are they crude? Do they talk down to people like us here at AFA? What's the mood like in the room at that moment?
Yeah. So we've had 3 meetings with Apple executives, and when I say Apple executives, one of the gentlemen on the call was one of their senior lawyers. So he was their corporate lawyer, overseeing all of their corporate lawyers. And then their investor relations team was on the call as well. So they handle all the investor relations meetings. But Apple was surprisingly one of the more positive calls. Even when we weren't getting concessions, they were still very cordial and very understanding of our positions. And so Apple, surprisingly, to be as big as they are, to be, mostly on the West Coast, Silicon Valley type company, they were very, very understanding of our positions, very respectable in their communication. And clearly we had indications last year that they were possibly moving this direction, because they released a software update in Australia, only in Australia, that addressed some of the issues we brought up with them. And so they said, hey, we're rolling this out in Australia. Basically, we're going to test this there to see how it goes. And then before we know it, 12 months later, they're doing it here in the U.S. and across the world with their updated software. So Apple's moving in the right direction. And when it gets down to it, there's some of these things are very indefensible, right? When you point out that a 14-year-old can view pornography without their parents knowing on an Apple device, it's like nobody can really make a good argument why that shouldn't be addressed. And so I think it's just a matter of pointing out the vulnerabilities, making the case why we need to protect children. And once you do that, a lot of these companies have a really hard time fighting off against that.
Also, just on a related issue, I know we worked on this, what I'm about to talk about, and many others did too. That is, these laws that have been enacted across many states, many red states, prohibiting the access of pornography on the internet by minors.
Yeah.
And that was upheld by the Supreme Court, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and to your point, the approach we're taking here is a multifaceted approach. And so we've got our policy team, Dr. Jamison Taylor, and those folks over at AFA Action. They're working on legislation like that, age verification legislation to prevent minors from accessing pornography online. And there's also some age verification laws on social media use where you have to show that you're an adult or get parental approval to have social media accounts in some states. So, but that's, to your point, that type legislation is adding pressure to companies like Apple, where they're looking at this going, guys, we've got to do something.
I just want to point out that there have been a handful of organizations for 10 years or so that have started to do the corporate engagement stuff. The National Center for Public Policy Research is one of them. ADF got involved, and Alliance Defending Freedom now has the Viewpoint Diversity Score Index, which is a counter to the HRC stuff. And now we're involved here. So our entry into this is only going to add to the amount of corporate engagement out there from social conservatives. This won't be the last time we talk about something like that.
Yeah. And so the important thing is, if you can if you buy stock in a company, you can have a voice in their policy. It may not be heard very much, but in this case, Apple did listen to us. But if you buy stock in corporations, you can go to shareholders meetings. You can vote by proxy. There's a lot of things you can do to make a difference in terms of their corporate policy. And oftentimes they don't hear from conservatives. And in this case, we're making a difference from a conservative perspective, and in this case, just a common sense, protect children perspective.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Walker. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
That's Walker Wildmon joining us. Walker will be on this afternoon, yes? Okay, from 1 to 2 o'clock Central Time on American Family Radio. Walker will be on with his program. Tim, here with Fred. Fred, what's the next, or Chris, who has the next story here?
I'll mention this because it's probably not the last scam we need to alert our listeners and viewers on. There's a New York Post story out where they're claiming this is an exclusive. It's about a, quote, terrifying high-tech bank scam that drains your life savings in seconds, and devastated victims are sounding the alarm. In this story, the New York Post interviewed a young man, 33 years old, last name Phillips, and basically he got a phone call, and it was from somebody spoofing his actual bank. There's some technology out now that allows you to call somebody under the guise of another organization.
Yeah, let me explain real quickly as we go along here what spoofing is. So spoofing would be, let's say you get a phone call and it appears to be from your bank. So it will say whatever your bank name is. And so what I'm saying is that may not necessarily be your bank. It may be somebody, what's called spoofing, that is falsely identifying the phone call. That's what I'm saying. So this gentleman here, go ahead, continue on.
So he gets a call from somebody claiming he's from his bank, in this case Chase Bank, and he claims there's been fraudulent activity on this person's account. And through a process of a conversation, he basically ended up giving this person some information that allowed them to access and just wipe out his bank account.
Yeah, Ray, you just got to be very, very careful and be suspicious of everything. Fred, you said, before Ray answers that, you said to me before the show, you don't trust anything anymore.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
And if, in this case, if you got a phone call and it was ID'd as your bank, I would say, okay, I'll come down to the office and talk to you.
Yeah. You come down to the bank, a branch of the bank, or call them back, not necessarily that number, but call the official number of the bank.
But first of all, do not give them any information. Do not give your bank account number. Do not give the last 4 digits of your social, anything of that nature. Your mother's maiden name.
Right.
These are some of the questions they'll ask.
They're tricking you by making you think they're helping to protect you from tricksters.
Yes.
It's very deviant, Ray.
Yes.
This very thing, the exact thing you're talking about, happened to us not this many weeks ago. As it happens, almost word for word, verbatim, what you're saying. We got a call like that, and somebody saying we are from such and such bank, happened to be our bank, and there has been suspicious, fraudulent activity, and the whole spiel. We wanted to know, the birth dates. Wanted to know.
Right.
wanted to know the Social Security number. Just give us that, and we're going to follow up on everything, and we're going to make sure this is all right. Well, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we figured it out in time, but we ended up going online, and one of the things you can do is there are these credit reporting agencies like Experian and TransUnion and so on, where they check your credit scores.
Yeah.
And we found out that the bad guys, and I'm not even sure how to explain how this following thing actually happened, but they had set up an account in our name, fraudulent account, had put money into it, had taken money out of it, if that makes any sense, and then it closed it down, all without any knowledge of us whatsoever. Preparatory, I think, to doing something much bigger. So we got in touch with somebody who does this for a living, who, I don't mean a bad guy, I mean a good guy, stopping the bad guys.
Protect you against identity theft.
That's exactly right. And he said, freeze your accounts at these different credit unions, and that's what we've done. We've had no problem since then. But, Tim, here's the thing. They prey on people, certainly not like you, Tim, not like you, Fred, not like you, Chris, but guys like me.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, sometimes people hear or read these stories, and they're like, who falls for this stuff? It's 2025, but millions of people still do.
Especially seniors, senior adults who, look, I'm fairly familiar with the internet because I live on it, right? But there's a lot of guys my age in the early 70s, they're not real comfortable with it. So when you get a call and they know your name and they say they're from your bank and they blah, 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 blah.
That wouldn't
be
work.
Careful out there.
The bank thing wouldn't work with us because we bank local. And but I could see, but if you don't, if you use a national bank, a Chase Bank or somebody like that,
and we do, because we travel so much,
right?
And that gives you great flexibility. But if you said to me, Ray, who's the head of the local head of the bank I don't know.
Right. The other thing is there are three main ways where the scamming goes on: text messages, emails, and phone calls. And the text and the emails, don't click on links on there.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Especially if you got somebody who says they're calling from your credit card company, you hang up and they may be. Sometimes they're legit. We've had people credit card company. You can sort of usually, that doesn't help anybody, unless you're absolutely sure that you're talking to your credit card company. You need to hang up and call the number on the back of the card.
Yes,
that's the only way to know for sure you're talking to your to the real representatives from your credit card company. But also, just as a note, when you do plan to travel, we always tell people who go with us to the Holy Land in March every year, we tell people you need to let your credit card company know you're going to be traveling abroad, because if you don't, when you get over there, they're going to stop you from using it. Until you let them know.
Yeah, and most places over there, a majority of places over there do take a credit card.
But you need to let your credit card company know, hey, this is me. I'm going to be traveling in Israel or England or Canada or wherever, so that they know that, because it'll flag activity if you're 1,000 miles away from your home or whatever. So, and to keep it from being, the credit card company thinks it's maybe stolen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, I want to cover this at some time, too. We don't have time today, and I don't really fully understand it, but I'm hearing more about these people who have their deeds to their home stolen or something like that. Their
title deeds.
Yeah. Basically, they have the home ownership jerked out from under them, unbeknownst to them.
Yeah, I want to know how that works and how you can keep that from happening, because that sounds like,
Yeah. The problem is today that so much of your life is out there digitally.
Everybody's information's exposed now. There's data breaches every single day.
Yeah, it's scary.
And you go like, how does this company get a data breach, and now all your your Social Security, your address, your email, everything's exposed on the internet, out there everywhere. So
Well, there was that scam a few weeks ago, and we talked about this. If you travel and all of a sudden you get a notification that, you were caught speeding and you need to click on this and pay your speeding ticket.
Yes.
And it's a scam.
It's a scam.
Yeah.
Also, we've talked about this, the fake toll.
Yes.
You passed a toll bridge or toll and you didn't pay. You need to pay, and that's evidently working quite well around the world,
including in places that don't have toll roads. That's what's amazing to me.
I know, but it is working. It must be working because the scammers are still using it. All right, you're listening to today's issues on American Family Radio. Yep. Chris, what's next story here?
Well, one other thing, we have this on our website, and people can go read it at afn.net. Amazon is cutting 14,000 corporate jobs. 14,000 corporate jobs. This is about 5% of their corporate workforce at Amazon. And what's interesting with this situation is Amazon cuts 14,000 corporate jobs as spending on artificial intelligence accelerates. So nowadays, it's not just blue-collar jobs being cut or threatened because of AI. You've got white-collar jobs at one of the world's biggest companies being threatened by AI. This will not be the last corporation we talk about.
Yeah, Amazon says as part of their press release this morning that they hired a bunch of people during COVID because, millions more people used Amazon during COVID because they didn't want to go out and shop at the brick and mortar stores. But now they're dealing with this. But also they want to get more involved with AI, using AI in their business. And that's just coming like a storm. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen just the tip of the iceberg on how AI is going to be used.
Yeah. Ray, have you studied this much?
It's coming, right?
Yeah.
The AI revolution, people say, well, it's here. Yeah, it's here. But the biggest part, the culture-changing part, I think, is yet to come.
Oh, yeah.
When you have people like Bill Gates and you have people like Elon Musk and other people who are intimately involved with computers and technology and internet, there are others too that I just can't think of off the top of my head. And I don't know if Bill Gates has warned against this, but I think he has. But I know Elon Musk has about AI and the dangers of what may lie ahead in terms of artificial intelligence. Now, there's a lot of good stuff. Almost as with every technology, there's good and bad, right?
Yeah.
So, but we will be back after this timeout for news. Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Paisley-Jordahl will be making his way over here. We'll talk to Steve and continue with our discussion in a few moments.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Teenage years can be a time of trial. It can be really difficult, but it can also be the most fun and the best years of your parenting.
Dr. Jessica Peck is a pediatric nurse practitioner as well as a professor, author, and mother of 4. Dr. Peck is host of the Dr. Nurse Mama Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Central, and find her podcast at afr.net. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. Melissa is now a rare Category 5 hurricane with winds up to 175 miles per hour. Lillian Wu with the latest.
Tens of thousands are under evacuation orders in the region as the strongest storm recorded this year bears down on Jamaica, which has never in its history taken a direct hit from a Category 5 hurricane. It's expected to bring catastrophic winds, rain, flooding, and across the south, storm surge of up to 13 feet. The Jamaican Defense Force has been deployed to help, and the government says it's done all it can to prepare, warning that no infrastructure in the region can withstand a Category 5. Melissa will likely move across southeastern Cuba tomorrow and across the southeastern or central Bahamas later Wednesday.
Today is day 28 of the government shutdown as Republicans and Democrats still can't come to an agreement to turn the lights back on. The Senate is expected to vote once again on a House-passed plan to reopen the government this week, but the vote has failed 12 times already. Democrats are standing firm in their demand for the Affordable Care Act tax subsidies to be extended, while Republicans want to address the issue only after the government is reopened. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise accusing Democrats of using working-class Americans as leverage.
Bernie Sanders, who was on the stage with AOC over with Mandami the other day with their socialist love fest. Bernie, quote, "You reopen the government and we lose our leverage. That's what this whole shutdown is about."
Air travelers are beginning to feel the effects. Thousands of Americans could be grappling with flight delays and cancellations just ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says today also marks the first day that air traffic controllers and other federal workers will miss a paycheck.
So today is the first day. They don't get any money. No pay. And by the way, that's rolling thunder, right? The first day is hard, but the second day is even harder than that. And the third day, because they have gas, they have childcare costs.
Air Traffic Controllers Association President Nick Daniels says controllers must be able to focus to keep people safe.
This job is stressful enough. We go to work day in and day out and make thousands of decisions. We do it 5 days a week. Most of us actually do it 6. 5's hard enough, and we do it 6 and 10 hours a day. And now you add in the fact that we had a partial paycheck already, and we missed a full paycheck today. America's air traffic controllers are now having to focus on how do they put gas in the car? How do they take care of their children? How do they pay for childcare?
Young single people looking for a spouse can easily be swayed in the wrong direction in today's world with the influence of social media, movies, and changing cultural norms. What should they look for in a spouse? Bronson Woodruff has more.
Young people dating today have various things they may want, but based on Scripture, what should singles actually look for? David Clausen is director of the Center for Biblical Worldview at the Family Research Council.
And I approach this theologically from a kind of an evangelical perspective, but I do think we need to reinforce the idea, of course, marriage is God's design, not a social invention.
He said we need to help people understand marriage reflects the gospel.
You know, Ephesians 5, that theological basis. Number one, we should be looking for a spouse with godly character, not cultural appeal. I think it's important for especially Gen Z millennials who are putting off marriage to understand that a godly husband or wife isn't defined by looks or career or charisma, but it really is about faithfulness, humility, a shared commitment to Christ.
Second, he said we should pursue maturity before marriage, not perfection.
I think a lot of young folks think that they need to kind of get their entire life figured out before marriage. I think it's helpful to be walking just faithfully with the Lord. You're committed to growing in grace. You're ready to serve rather than be served. I think the church should teach and model biblical marriage. I think young people won't pursue what they've never seen.
Which he explained means churches should highlight healthy marriages. They should mentor young couples.
Remind them that marriage is a beautiful gift from God.
Another note, he said real love is not found on a screen or in a feeling. It's found in covenant faithfulness. It's not a human invention. It's a divine design.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
Hello, my name is Andy Miller, and I'm the president of Wesley Biblical Seminary based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. We are developing trusted leaders for faithful churches, and we do that based in the authority of Scripture and in the reality that Christians can be transformed. We do that also through bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees. We'd love for you to learn more about Wesley Biblical Seminary at wbs.edu, where we're developing trusted leaders for faithful churches.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, president of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues. That's the name of this program on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. We're here every weekday. Weekday would be Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday with this news current events show called Today's Issues. And on Fridays, we have just a little bit of fun with the Trivia Friday show that's coming up this Friday. Tim, Fred, Ray, we are hosting the program today. And now Steve Paisley-Jordahl comes in. Good morning, Brother Steve.
Hi.
Any update that you know of about the hurricane ravaging?
It's just hitting right now, so there's no data out as far as damage or anything.
Jamaica, it's coming right over Jamaica.
Right over Jamaica. Still a Cat 5. They're expecting devastation. There's just it's
no
a
other
third
way
world
to
country. They don't have the infrastructure to withstand this, and there are some cameras that are up showing live shots, but this one's a monster.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Of course, we're all familiar with hurricanes this time of year, right? Because from August to November is hurricane season. But this eye wall that they're showing on the Weather Channel and CNN's Fox News, this eye wall of this hurricane, I've never seen anything it's a perfect circle, which means it's
very fast.
And very strong.
Very strong.
Very strong. 185 mile per hour winds.
Starting to go right over Jamaica right now.
Yep.
And Jamaica's, I've never been there, but I know many people who have. It's mountainous too, right? So you're talking about the rain. If you get 20 inches of rain, for example, you could get
mudslides.
The mudslides.
Basically a 100-mile wide tornado.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and worse in the sense that it's sustained winds.
Right.
Sustained 150, 170 mile an hour winds for an hour
surge.
Or whatever.
Storm surge.
Storm surge. Yeah, it's going to change Jamaica for a long, long time. Sadly, unfortunately, but I know Americans will be there to help. Especially American Christians will be there to help.
Samaritan's Purse.
Yes,
we'll be there for sure.
Well, now they're saying winds up to 185.
Yeah,
right now 185. I don't know any house or building that could take 185 mile an hour sustained winds without it doing. So they'll be leveled.
Yeah.
In Jamaica, probably be leveled. All right, you're listening to today's issues on AFR. Steve, what's our first story?
Did y'all feel the earth shake beneath your feet here the last day or two?
I feel the earth shake under my. I think that was
Carole King.
Carole King. Okay.
The Democrats, the left is about to lose one of their major talking points.
Oh, this is sad.
One of their pet projects is going away, I think. Bill Gates is headed towards COP30, climate.
He's headed toward
conference.
What? Is that a town?
It's a climate conference. Climate conference.
He's going to a climate conference.
It's going to be in Brazil. It's going to be November 10th to 21st.
Is he about flying there in his private jet?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter anymore.
And Fred beat us to that one. We all were ready to go that one. Go ahead.
I'll tell you why. This is what he writes. Some things I want everybody to know at COP30.
Is this you talking or him
talking?
No,
I'm now quoting Bill Gates. This is a column that he wrote. Quote, there's a doomsday view of climate change that goes like this. In a few decades, cataclysmic climate change will decimate civilization. The evidence is all around us. Just look at the heat waves, the storms caused by rising global temperatures. Nothing matters more than limiting the rise in temperature. He continues, fortunately for all of us, this view is wrong. Although climate change will have serious consequences, particularly for people in the poorest countries, it will not lead to humanity's demise. People will be able to live and thrive in most places on Earth for the foreseeable future.
Can I paraphrase? We've been lying to you for years.
Yes.
Is this a change of position for him?
Yeah, it is.
It's a toning down at the very least.
Right, because the reality is that they've overstated the effects of, quote, climate change.
Absolutely.
Now, he has been for some very, very destructive policies. Basically, one of his positions is there need to be fewer people on the earth. And it used to be that.
So is that's any not? Well, now again, I don't know what exactly his record is on statements about climate change. I mean, some of these climate change / global warming people are just crazy. They issue all these, the oceans are going to rise 10 inches next year. Remember Al Gore?
Oh, yeah.
The polar caps are going to melt in 5 years and all that kind of stupidity.
Yeah. And every 10 years since, it's been 5 years hence.
Listen, I would say if we have climate change, by the way, they changed from global warming to climate change because global warming wasn't happening exactly everywhere.
It was global cooling in the 70s.
Yeah, so they had to go with climate change, which it's you can't miss with climate change because guess what? The climate's always going to change. But this idea that carbon. What am I trying to say? Carbon.
They call it carbon pollution. I call it plant food.
That's going to that's what. And basically, they want to say it's coming from America or North America.
Yeah.
I know. But anyway, it's a way to control the American economy. That's what they want to do.
Sure.
That's what these folks want to do. They're socialistic, communist in nature. That is most of these green folks, and so that's what their agenda. If you want to know what is their agenda, because notice they don't put a lot of pressure on China or India, which are the two leading polluters in the world. It's always, what is the U.S. or Western Europe or Canada going to do? All right, go ahead.
All right, there's a group out there on the left. I want to ask you guys a question. This is a group called Welcome, and it has put out a report that says that the Democrat Party is out of touch with most voters. They have badly weakened their party with left-leaning ideas and rhetoric.
This is from a left-wing group?
This is from a left-wing group.
Wow.
Growing only with self-described white liberals while losing ground with other voters.
Yeah.
According to a new center-left group that was first shared with us, I'm finding this on semaphore.com is where this report is. 70% of voters think the Democrat Party is out of touch, and most voters found they believe that the party over-prioritizes issues like protecting the rights of LGBTQ individuals and fighting climate change, while the Democrats don't care enough about securing the border or lowering the rate of crime. The report urges party members to abandon some of the progressive language that issues have been using since 2012 and recommends nominating more candidates willing to vote with Republicans on conservative immigration and crime bills. Do you think they'll be able to listen?
Fred?
Well, what I see in that they analyzed the 2024 election, and they found that what Donald Trump stood for during the election were the big issues that the people were concerned about. I mean, how could the Democratic Party continue to argue what Joe Biden did on our southern border? At least 15 million people storming into this country.
Right.
And how can you defend that? Now, especially with the reporting on the crimes committed by many of these people, and there have been some very high-profile cases, that this group of Democrats apparently is saying if we want to win elections in the future, we have got to move the political needle back at least towards the center. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think for the Democrats, this government shutdown is going to backfire on them. What is it? The biggest government employee union now is telling the Democrats, you got to end this now.
Shutdown, yeah.
These are people who vote Democrat, these union members. They're saying, you got to stop this now. The Republicans are starting to look really good in this. The Republicans are the ones voting to end the shutdown. The Democrats are voting to keep the shutdown going. And the Republicans are winning on the argument about subsidies for Obamacare, especially going to illegal immigrants. They're winning on this. Yeah. So I think we're at that point where the Democrats are going to start hurting themselves on this. And then you've got, of course, the Democrat in New York City, Mamdani.
Yeah. The question is, in this, you're citing an article about a liberal group criticizing its own movement or party, that is the Democrat Party. And I would say they're absolutely right. Yeah. Now, whether they can change course, I don't know, because the energy in the Democratic Party seems to be with the far left.
Yeah.
And not with the traditional Democrats. We'll see. There's an infighting going on there.
There have been other voices. Bill Maher is one of those sensible Democrats who's been saying kind of the same thing. But
I'm not one for telling your enemy where they're going wrong either. Just let them flounder.
I don't know, Ray. It seems to me like they have wed themselves welded themselves to the extreme left with Mamdani and AOC and everything, and I don't know how they can extricate themselves from
When is that New York mayoral race?
Oh, it's a week from today.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll know then.
And he's still the huge favorite to win, right?
Well,
Don?
there's a new poll, Suffolk University poll that's out this morning. We were talking about this a little earlier, and the gap has closed dramatically in the last month. There's now only 10 points between Cuomo and Mamdani. It was 20 a month ago. So maybe New Yorkers are starting to.
Well, you had Eric Adams drop out.
Yes.
The current mayor, he dropped out
and endorsed
the
Cuomo.
three-person race.
Republican.
Go ahead.
If the Republican, Curtis Lewa, if he dropped out, because there's no chance in the current situation the Republican's going to win the mayor. They become mayor of New York City. If he dropped out, then it could be a barn burner, right?
It could be.
We're the state of the Democrat Party when Mario Cuomo is considered the moderate to try to save New York City from
Andrew.
Andrew.
I did the same thing.
His brother's
dad.
Oh, okay.
When any Cuomo is considered the moderate,
I know,
the party's
right?
gone way too far.
I know, right? So anyway, all right, next story.
All right. Their House Oversight Committee is chaired by a Kentucky Republican named James Comer, and he has sent a letter to the Department of Justice demanding a comprehensive investigation into former President Joe Biden's auto pen use. It was a 100-page report, and it specifically wants to know whether his inner circle covered up signs of mental decline in the ex-president, and if that alleged cover-up extends to the executive actions signed via auto pen without Biden's full awareness. In the absence of sufficient contemporaneous documentation indicating that cognitively deteriorating President Biden himself made a given executive decision, such decisions do not carry the force of law and should be considered void.
I don't know how you do that. Practically speaking, legally speaking, I don't know how you do that. That may be a little bit of just pointing out how bad it was in the Biden administration. What we're talking about here is basically that the accusation is that Joe Biden, while president, didn't know what was going on a day-to-day basis, and so anything that was like an executive order that's supposed to come from the president that he signs, that was not done with Joe Biden knowing fully what was going on. That was used that was an auto pen. An auto pen meaning just his signature. It's like what some people use as a rubber stamp.
It's a mechanical device that holds a pen and actually traces a signature.
So well, there you go. So I don't know whether they'll be able to get anywhere with that. What would that mean? I mean, how many?
Well,
do you make null and void the executive orders that he signed, Fred?
That is the contention of the Republicans that issued this report.
Who would decide this? Like the courts?
Yeah, because it would not be valid. If by signing something, you're saying I, the signee, agree with this. If you didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And so that's the pardons, remember all the pardons that he issued?
Yeah. Yeah.
The commutation,
yeah,
all of those
including Hunter Biden.
Including
and
Hunter
his whole
Biden.
family.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, his whole family. He pardoned, preemptively pardoned them. And Anthony Fauci and
yes,
I don't know who else he pardoned. Yeah.
Haven't heard from Fauci lately.
No, where did he go?
I don't know. It's amazing. Some of these people. Alejandro Mayorkas, remember that Homeland Secretary?
Oh, man.
Haven't heard from him. Even CNN doesn't interview him anymore.
He was awful.
Oh,
just awful. Huh?
What a bunch. What a bunch.
That whole Corinne Jean-Pierre now, Ray, she's out there doing a book tour interviews. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. And she supposedly is crying foul ball about what happened when they got rid of Joe Biden and put in Kamala, right? She's not happy with
Yeah, what is that about? I mean, is she saying?
I still feel like I've said this all along. Tim said this on there a few times. I don't feel like a real accounting has ever been given about what happened over that weekend, right? Where Joe Biden he's running for re-election going into the weekend and coming out of the weekend. Suddenly he's off and suddenly we've got
You mean after the debate with Trump where he was staring off into space?
Yeah, and I'm still asking what happened in the weekend. I don't think any real accounting's ever been given about how did they.
You mean the weekend subsequent to that when he dropped out?
That's right. That's right.
There's a new book out by Kamala as well, and there's been some reporting using some that Obama called
Nancy
Pelosi with some foul language, wondering what in the world did you just do? Basically.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
Supposedly, what Obama was upset was Nancy Pelosi endorsing Kamala Harris too early because Obama knew that Kamala Harris was likely to lose to Donald Trump. That's what that was about.
Well, then, who did he want to run against Trump?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think he wanted a primary, at least, a discussion.
Yeah, of some kind of primary. Yeah, some kind of primary where, I don't know, Gavin Newsom or Whitmer or Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, somebody else besides Kamala. I think pretty well everybody knew that Kamala Harris was a disaster as vice president. I mean, she did a few issues when she first got into office, and then after that they just parked her in the basement to try to keep her away from the public because she was not a good spokesperson for the administration. Remember that, all the cackling and all the word salads and all this.
She's not done.
Not to revisit history too much. I know, but she is. But I had to tell her that. But what that is a lesson. If the Democrats could ever learn a life lesson, which I hope they don't, because I want them to continue to lose.
Yeah.
But where the Democrats made their mistake, well, they made it twofold. Number one, they selected a guy who was cognitively in decline when he was elected.
Yeah.
Joe Biden. So it only got worse after he went. Remember, after he went into the White House. The second thing they did was they got a DEI hire as their vice president. So they selected Kamala Harris because she was a woman of color. That was the first criteria she needed to meet, and then after that, what is her ideology, I guess, or they would both be. In other words, they didn't take the most qualified candidate, whether it be a white male or a white woman, or maybe a black man or a black woman, or
What are you saying, Tim? They didn't send their best people?
No, I know. They selected Kamala Harris because she was a woman of color, and when you do a DEI hire. And you don't
This is
get
what you get.
This is what you get. You get a person who's incompetent sometimes, and that's what happened to the Democrats right there, and they had to live with it, and they lost a presidential election because of it.
They have a next one up mentality. They've had it for a while because remember before Biden, it was Clinton, Hillary Clinton. They chose her as a candidate, and she's one of the most despised people in America. Even among Democrats, she didn't have a whole lot of favorable ratings.
Yeah, but I think she was qualified.
Oh no, I'm not saying she wasn't qualified. I'm just saying she wasn't going to win, probably.
Well, she did win the popular vote.
Yeah.
So I mean, Trump barely won. But that was God's hand. Okay, people, don't write me. I don't know. I did talk to God about that, but I'm just saying, for a man to take Virginia, Trump took Virginia. No, he took Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin by the narrowest of margins to be able to pull off the Electoral College vote. But I do think it was God giving America another chance. I do think that saved us from Hillary Clinton. All right, you're listening to today's issues. If you don't agree with that theology, that's fine. We can still be friends. All right, go ahead, Steve.
Catholic University in New Orleans, Loyola University, is denying Turning Point USA a charter application. Now,
well, why?
Well, because the student group that is opposing this, or the student government that's opposing this,
so it's not Tulane University itself.
It's
a student group.
Loyola University.
Loyola. I'm sorry,
and
not
it's
Tulane.
the student government, which grants those, and the student government says basically that the Turning Point's values do not comport with the school's Jesuit Catholic values. They say, what are those values?
Yeah,
yes.
What are they?
That Kirk said that queer people, I'm quoting it here, are trying to corrupt your children, and that transgenderism and gender fluidity are lies that hurt people and abuse kids. That's what they say. The values that that Loyola doesn't like. That they like transgenderism, they like LGBT, and for somehow reason they say they're Catholic.
Yeah, that's not the teaching of the Catholic Church. No. Teaching of the Catholic Church is pretty strict on moral values in terms of human sexuality. Let me ask you this. By the way, up the road in Baton Rouge, the governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, he said, quote, we're going to put a challenge out there to the LSU Board of Supervisors to find a place to put a statue of Charlie Kirk to defend freedom of speech on college campuses. So I just applaud.
Wow.
I applaud the governor of Louisiana.
Yep.
Because that would be a great thing to do, is put up a statue of Charlie Kirk. Because Charlie Kirk's, not because of the man himself, although he was a wonderful fella, Charlie Kirk was, by all accounts, is because he stood for freedom of speech on college campuses. Mm-hmm. And so that's how he made his mark, was going to LSU and college campuses all over America and doing debates and promoting the First Amendment of the Constitution. Which
the students at Utah Valley University, where he was assassinated, are opposing a memorial on the site of his assassination.
The students?
Some students.
Some students.
Wow.
I think they're a lot of these college campuses. I think there are more traditional or conservative students there are the far lefties. But the far lefties, they do the protest and they get they make the noise and they get the cameras on them. I really believe that. I'm talking about in the majority of campuses across America. Listen, tomorrow night there's going to be a Turning Point event at Ole Miss, which hopefully I'm going to get to go to. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be over 10,000 people in the basketball arena. That's just one example of the power of the Turning Point organization and the message of Charlie Kirk.
Yep, and
Vice President's going to be there.
Vice President there, and also Charlie Kirk's widow.
Yeah, Erica.
Erica is going to be there as well.
And Chris Woodward.
Yeah.
And some other people.
Hopefully I'll be there.
Yep. And we'll report on it Thursday morning.
All right, take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, my name is Wesley Wildmon.
And I'm Walker Wildmon.
And we're brothers, and our family have been leading tours to the land of the Bible for more than 30 years.
Coming up in March of 2026, we would love for you to join us for something very special, a Footsteps of Paul tour, a journey through Greece.
We'll walk exactly where the Apostle Paul walked, through Athens, ancient Corinth, Philippi, and Thessalonica.
You'll enjoy unforgettable experiences and meaningful fellowship with believers and with Wesley and Walker.
And we'll eat well, laugh a lot, and yes, eat well again. And most importantly, we will grow in our faith as the Bible comes alive before your eyes. You'll get to see the very things that we read about or that your pastor talks about in church.
The Footsteps of Paul tour is March 17th through the 24th, 2026.
Register today at wildmangroup.com.
That's wildmangroup.com. We can't wait to see you there.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800